You don't need motivation to start something. It's the same thing as saying, I need to learn how to cook so that I can cook. It's the other way around. You need to cook to get better, and so then you learn how to cook, right? But yet people think that you need motivation to start, when in all honesty, it's the other way around. You need to start to get motivation. You need to start to see the motivation. You actually want to start to actually want to do it more. You don't randomly want to start something. Maybe that happens every now and then, but more often than not, especially if it's something that is hard to start, it's hard to do, you don't feel like doing it. You don't feel motivated to start something that's hard. And that's where people mess up. They think that they need to watch some David Goggins YouTube shorts where he says like a cool sounding quote, or you need to listen to some rock music. Like, you gotta pump yourself up. Like, none of that. None of that. And I'm telling you this because I was at that exact same point. I was the guy looking at David Goggins like quotes on YouTube shorts. I was the guy listening to rock music all the time. And the thing is, those help. Sure, they help, but just a little bit. And they're temporary. They don't actually last at all. They don't last. The only thing that lasts is progress. Progress is the best motivator, because once you start, you see that there's the difference between where you used to be and where you are now. And even if that difference is this big, just a little bit, just the smallest little pinch, you still see that there's a difference. And that is the best kind of motivation that you can ever get, because you see that you started something and there's actually a difference. And so you think to yourself, well, if I keep doing it, there'll be an even bigger difference. I've been working out for a year and a half, right? Right there. And the only reason why I'm still doing it is because I can see my body is getting bigger, is getting more muscular. If I didn't see any change, I wouldn't keep doing it. And the same thing, whenever I started, there was no change. I just had to start. And then after a while, I started to see some little itty bitty gains. And that's when it all ramped up. That's when I got so motivated that I'm still working out to this day. I hated recording YouTube videos. I hated it. It felt like a chore. It felt like it was just the thing I had to do once a week because, I just had to, because, I gotta get it. I hated it until I actually started to see a little bit of growth. And not only that, I started to see improvement in myself. I actually started to become a better speaker, not only on YouTube, but in real life as well. And so I saw that improvement. I'm like, oh, this can actually go somewhere. And that little thought led to where I am now. I've been recording videos for almost a year straight, and I'm going to be recording for many more to come. And it's all because I saw that progress. So I don't want you to get mixed up. I don't want you to be hard on yourself thinking that you just can't start because you're not motivated. It's the other way around. You have to start to get motivated. And if I'm being honest, the hardest part is actually starting, because that's the part where you don't have much motivation, if at all. You just have yourself and whatever kind of willpower that you have to actually start it. And that's where discipline comes into play. But you don't actually need motivation to start. It's helpful, Sure, the David Goggins stuff might help you to just do it once, but it's not long lasting at all. And so if you can start, if you can see just the smallest bit of progress, even if it's not like physical or tangible, you could genuinely be like a check mark on a calendar. If you see any kind of progress, you'll see change. You'll see change, and you'll want to keep going. And so because of that, the start is the hardest part. That's where you have to use discipline. That's where you have to push yourself. After that, it's smooth sailing. That's where you get the motivation. It's supposed to be hard at the beginning, and I don't want you to get discouraged because of that. It's supposed to be hard at the beginning.